Hello everyone at YouTube, this is Silver Lightsaber. Before I start, I want to say a big thank you to all my friends on YouTube and all my subscribers. Well, my subscribers, even if you're not friends with me, think of you as a friend. Anyone who supports my videos and wants me to keep doing what I do, that really does mean a lot to me. I'm not used to having support like this, so when I see people say such kind words and take the time out of their day to tell me how great of a job I do, it really is a pleasure. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, and I do take requests. I love hearing ideas for videos. Some of them are really good, and I do toy around with them. I don't just dismiss them and delete your emails. I get them, and I think about them, so please continue. Anyway, this video is about problems that I have with the Fantastic Four films. So I'm going to get right into it because, as you all know, or you should know by now, 10 minutes goes quick for me. So going into it. 2005 Fantastic Four, first big problem. When I was seeing the trailers, Fantastic Four is Marvel's premier group. They were their first big hit that Stan Lee created in the company. And so, because they were their first big hit, and because of the success of Spider-Man and Hulk, its serious tone, I thought that they were going to try to do the same thing with Fantastic Four, make it serious and, have respect for the source material. Fast forward to seeing it in the theater, it was an enjoyable film, so was the sequel, but they weren't taken quite as seriously as other films have, like the Spider-Man films, the Hulk film. Whether you love it or you hate it, it still had a substance to it. You could take these characters, and write a paper about them, because you could tell that they actually weren't two-dimensional. They were three-dimensional. They had things that they were thinking about and motivations why they were doing things. And Fantastic Four, there was not that much of that, which I found really disappointing. But on the other side, the Fantastic Four is also, for how it worked, it was a great family film, and so is the sequel. They were very enjoyable. When you take them for just what they're worth, they're enjoyable films, nothing more, nothing less. But I just wish that they had taken them more seriously, and hopefully, if they ever do a reboot someday, they'll do that. Since Marvel Studios, is making great movies now with Incredible Hulk and Iron Man. Hopefully they'll reboot some of their past films in the future. It's not my call to say when they should do that, but when they do it, definitely make it different from the previous incarnation. Okay, another problem. Casting, I think everyone that was cast was pretty good, was cast according to character, I could tell, but one guy that was cast, it was Dr. Doom, and I do not like this casting choice. I even now when I watch it, I mean, there are certain scenes that are redeeming for this guy. Julian McMahon is who I'm talking about. He plays Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom, and there are certain scenes where it's redeeming, like when he gets angry and the lights flicker. That's Doom-like, but overall, it's just he's very two-dimensional. And the character Dr. Doom is like Darth Vader. He's like the Darth Vader of comic books. He is very deep. He's a mastermind. He's probably one of the most evil characters of the Marvel Universe and one of the most popular. And they treated him just like any other villain. There wasn't any substance to him. I mean, he was very two-dimensional. His motivations were plain black and white. I didn't like that. And on top of that, Julian McMahon, what the crap was the casting director thinking? I mean, Julian McMahon can act, don't get me wrong. He's a good actor, and he does have good scenes in Fantastic Four in the sequel where he is cool. But he's known for being a nip tuck. And I know some actors get typecast, but when you are known for a certain role and then you're put in a different role and you don't act that differently from the role that you're known for, it's not enjoyable for people that know you from the role you came from. I'll give you an example. In Nip Tuck, Julian McMahon I don't watch it, but Julian McMahon plays this kind of nymphomaniac, vain type plastic surgeon. And whenever he gets angry, it like shoots to a sex scene in the show. So I'm watching Fantastic Four thinking that whenever the lights flicker and he's yelling and ranting, it's going to shoot to a sex scene with Doctor Doom. What? It's just weird. I mean, it's not his fault, but it's just the casting choice. It's just so off. But he does have redeeming scenes, don't get me wrong. He can play Doom. It's just, it might not be his fault. It might be Tim Story, the director's fault. It could be all his fault. But it's just a face. I don't like it. I don't like that casting choice. Moving on. The sequel with Silver Surfer. I loved Silver Surfer. I think he had just enough screen time because it is a Fantastic Four movie. It's not a Silver Surfer movie. Hopefully there will be one. I think he had just enough dialogue because he's a visitor from outer space and he's visiting Earth, so he's not going to have too much dialogue. And special effects were great on the Silver Surfer. But one of my biggest problems, and this is kind of nitpicky, but I love to do that. Towards the end, spoiler, Surfer is kind of walking around and not sure what to do, if he's going to save Earth or not. And he looks up and Doctor Doom is like throwing this kind of pole right at him, and it's coming and it's almost in slow motion. And Sue Storm sees it, jumps in the way. I think it was in slow motion. And NORAD sees it coming and just stands there kind of like, should I move? Sue Storm jumps in the way, takes it straight to the heart. Norin looks down at her and just kind of like, oh, that's not good. Just this blank expression. And, in the comic books, he has that blank expression, but he's smart. He's smart in the comic books. Silver Surfer is known for being this deep, philosophical being in Marvel Comics that asks these deep intellectual questions about Earth and life, and yet he can't move out of the way of a freaking pole. Where the crap is the logic in that? That's just one of the things I have wrong with it. Another thing while I'm on, Doctor Doom comes back to life in the sequel, and he helps out the Fantastic Four, and of course there's friction, and he makes a deal with the General about the board, and this is of course assuming you've seen the sequel. He makes a deal with the General, who's dumb, and to do his experiments on the board. And the General likes to pride himself on not being a dummy, being a smart military man. Okay. Oh, and I'm not done yet. They see a film where Doctor Doom explains that the Silver Surfer gets his powers from his board. And so apparently he makes a deal with the General that if they can separate the Surfer from his board, then Doctor Doom can do experiments on the board. Okay, so the General makes a deal with Doctor Doom, who is one of the most dangerous men on the planet, to do experiments on a board that has unlimited source of power and possibly have it in the hands of a raving lunatic who's already very powerful. What are you thinking? Where the crap is the logic in that? Okay, this guy's going to help me. I'm going to let him do experiments on this board that I know nothing about, and I'm just going to say, screw Reed Richards. He's smart, but you know what? I'm going to let this evil maniac work on it and do whatever he wants, find out what he wants. I don't care. At least I have the Surfer guy who's helpless without his board, and his board's his source of power. So I'm going to let this villain go around and play with it. Oh, man. But that's nitpicking, but even so, that's really bad. But I'm being a little hard on it, but don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the Fantastic Four films. It's not like I'm ragging on it saying it's not enjoyable at all. It's not true. They're fun. I laugh at the jokes. I love seeing it. It's eye candy. Nothing more, nothing less. But they're enjoyable films. If you're looking for a good beat 'em, bash 'em up superhero film that won't leave you thinking so much after you've seen it, where you don't feel like you learned something, but you liked what you saw and something you can watch with your family, go watch the Fantastic Four films. They're great. But if you're looking for something deep and that'll make you think, go watch The Dark Knight or something like that. It's not the film for you. Anyway, tune in next time. Please keep feeding me messages and requests. I love hearing from you. I love you guys. Thank you. Till next time. Bye, YouTube.